What's up, guys? So I'm going to be covering the pros and cons of each grading service. And before I send my Pokemon cards to any grading service, I always ask myself, what is your objective? What is your objective? So is it to sell, make fast cash? Is it to maximize your profits? Is it to collect? And which grading service can make you the most money? But it's time, which is the greatest enemy. And remember, time is your greatest asset. So now, when we talk about which grading service you rather go with, and everyone will have a different answer, and usually everyone has a different answer and a different preference, and they all have their pros and cons. But each grading service company, you know, I usually basically categorize it how it can meet my objectives, which I'll be covering, and it's really no different, to be honest. People have a different taste. Everyone has a different preference. Um, some might be PSA die-hard fans. Like it's no different from Coke versus Pepsi versus Dr. Pepper. I'm a Pepsi guy. I like Pepsi. Some people love Coke. It's what it is. Everyone has their different likes. PSA to me is like Coca-Cola. Beckett's like Pepsi. Dr. Pepper's like CGC. But you kind of get the point. Everyone has that different flavor. They're different like. And let's go over the pros and cons. So PSA is like the universal standard. They have no subgrades. Their process is step by step, easy walkthrough, great for beginners. Usually the PSA cards sell for more, and they're great for bulk submissions. And like I said, they're like Coca-Cola, of grading, and they sell more easier. You get more comps faster. They're like the standard form of grading. And some grader collectors love just that universal label. They don't like the subgrades or anything like that. Cons is basically it takes forever. So if you don't do Super Express or Standard Express, you might not see your cards for a year. Standard, believe, is like a month or so. They'll upcharge you basically for so if you send a card in like a first edition Charizard, the previous prices I'm going to go off was $75. If it goes over that value insured amount, they'll charge you $200. Their upcost cost doesn't justify their turnaround times at the moment. Their cases do feel cheap and light, and it's hard to even get a hold of a rep at all. I sent an email to them about something, and they haven't even replied, and it's been like a week. So, and let's go to Beckett. Beckett, I see Beckett's main objective is getting a black label. The most cards that get a black label is mainly modern cards, especially Japanese cards, because Japanese has the highest quality of print. Compared to the Western prints, it's pretty much garbage. The quality control is garbage. You can look at Shiny Fates and compare it to Shiny Star V. Yeah, the quality of prints is just garbage. There's a lot of bleeds on the edges with Shiny Fates, for example. But the point is, with Beckett, I always aim for the black label. And basically, I kind of separate it like this. Am I going to get a black label? Yes or no? And that kind of determines which I'm going to send my cards to. Yes, people love their cases. It has more quality. Their communication's on point. It's a little faster. I can call in and get a hold of a rep like that. They email pretty fast. Also, what's cool about Beckett is you can add Holo Bleed to your labels. So like XY Evolution's Charizard, I had a Holo Bleed, and they actually put a Holo Bleed on the label. So for every Marnie trainer card I collected from Champions Path has a nice Holo Bleed. I'm going to send all those Marnie trainer cards with Holo Bleeds to Beckett, and I'm going to have them put on the label Holo Bleed because there's a lot of Marnie collectors out there. And there's a lot of Holo Bleed collectors too. So the mix is a good combo. Bulk submission. Now here's the thing. Because PSA jumped up their bulk submissions $20 a card, well, it's best to send your Marnie cards to Beckett now. Because if you did not know this, they give free subgrades if it meets a gold pristine or a black label. So you get free subgrades, which is pretty dope. And thing is, why send your bulk, like say Charizard V promos from Champions Path, to PSA, and the highest tier is a PSA 10, which sells around $200. But if you send it over to Beckett and it just one, all you need is one, and it gets a black label, well, that's like $1,200, around 2,000, 1,200. The trend, varies, but you kind of get my point. Go for the one that gives you the biggest bang of your buck. And usually the pristine 10s sell much as PSA 10s anyways, and also they're great for crossovering PSA or CGC to get that potential black label. Now here's the cons. Okay, they operate in the 90s. It's really confusing at first. They have like two different methods where there's submission form and online version. You can go back to my tutorial of sending cards to Beckett. So you have your submission form, and then their website's kind of hard to navigate. It seems when you go to the grading portion, it goes to a whole different website. It's like confusing. It's like navigating through a jungle in a sense. They don't hold your hand through the grading process at all. So it's kind of like up tier for Gentleman's Club, I guess, for grading. Also, they don't tell you when they receive your cards. They just tell you when they're grading them, and when they finished, and here's your tracking number. That's the only notifications you get. Personally, I think Beckett needs to fix that because I want to sleep at night when sending like a $2,000 card to them, for example. I just want to know my cards arrived there. I want a receipt of receiving them, just like PSA. Because when I first started grading with PSA, my first submission, I was like freaking out. I was like calling them every 10 seconds. Did you receive my cards? Did you receive my cards? And it makes you sleep good at night, knowing that they received your cards. It's in their system. And Black Label, conspiracy-wise, the population is pretty much controlled. I don't blame them, because if you have too much of one thing, it's bad. And that's why Black Labels go for so much, because it's like PSA 10 on steroids. Now, CGC is a very young company, but their reputation that's really gaining them traction is they have a strict grading reputation, which is going great for them. They're slowly catching up to PSA and Beckett, the big boys, but they're the small kid on the block, but they're trying to gain traction, and they're making modifications, they're growing, and I like their innovation, communicating to the community. They do have affordable prices for grading. Also, they have graded cards before they're released. Might be a pro and con. Maybe it's your preference. Now, AK, the Shiny Charizard VMAX for Shiny Fates, before it was released, somehow was snuck out of the printing factory and it's either stolen or given as a gift. But CGC graded it regardless. They have faster turnaround times than PSA and Beckett. I have not gone through CGC, which I'm going to soon. Like I said, it meets different objectives. Their packaging is great. Flipping cards, easy, fast cash, and their glorified filter, as for right now, to cross over PSA and Beckett. Cons, like I said, the company hasn't been around the block. They haven't matured enough as PSA and Beckett. And I think they needed to expand their market to sport cards to really truly expand. But I can understand because sports is a whole different animal. Cases, what doesn't sit with me is the cases can be pried open easily. I don't know if they fixed it. If you're a big CGC fan, I appreciate your comment below, because when I see videos of someone opening a CGC case with their fingernails, that does not sit right with me, because that opens the gateway for people who want to commit fraud and scam people. So all they have to do is pull out the graded card that's everything's perfect on it, slip an off-centered one in there, no one will know the difference, and sell it at the same price. So that's what kind of irks me about it. Their labels, you can't really tell the difference between a pristine and perfect 10. Like, if you just took CGC and just look at them both, it's like, which one's the perfect 10? You have to really stare at the subgrades, where Beckett, you Just look at the gold and black label. You'll know which has the quad 10s. Um, they don't sell much as PSA or Beckett. They have no pop report because people love the flex. People love to hold that card. It's like 1 out of 100, and I have it. I only have the 1 out of the whole world. People love the flex. That's part of the collection. So how I filter before I send cards to a grading card company to be graded. So like I said, I take it as face value. I don't care if it's PSA, Beckett, or CGC. So vintage, I usually send that to PSA because it's harder to get a black label. It's safe on returning investment. Like I said, pause the video and check it out. Um, it's a safe route to get a PSA 10. Modern cards, they're fresh off the printing press. They're fresh, pulled from fresh from the pack. Especially Japanese, they have a higher chance of getting black label. Usually, if it doesn't have the potential of getting a black label, usually I just kind of send it to PSA. If it's a high value card. If yes, I send it to Beckett. Now, the cards like vintage, if I didn't pull it fresh from the pack, like a vintage pack, I probably won't send it to PSA. But even with the vintage pack Pokemon pulled fresh from the pack, it's still hard to even get a black label. It's not impossible, but it's near impossible to get a black label, but it has been done before. And pristine 10s, like I said, sell as much as PSA 10s. Now, for bulk of Pokemon cards, I need a fast cash flip, need them graded, sold, get out of the door, make the customer happy. Usually I'm going to go send it to CGC because they meet that criteria of objective. Get it graded, get it sold, move on. Rinse and repeat. If I don't care about maximizing my profits, but time is my greatest enemy because with Beckett and PSA, either it takes forever or costs a lot of money. CGC is affordable, but gets the job done. So let's hop over to eBay real quick, and I'll just show you how the prices vary. So we have CGC Perfect 10 sold for $1,200. These prices are when Shiny Star V was released. Okay, PSA 10 sold for $1,500. Okay, this could have been a potential black label. Could have been, but you sent it to PSA instead. And then we have a pristine 10, Shiny Charizard V, or VMAX with pristine 10 Beckett, which only sold for almost as a PSA 10 anyways. So you're not really losing much money, but if you get that black label, let's hop over to what black labels are going for. So Shiny Charizard VMAX Japanese usually goes around $4 grand, but you can just see yourself how much black labels. Rainbow Charizard VMAX PSA 10 usually goes for around like $800, $700. But a black label sells for $4,500. People just love the black labels. And like I always say, money talks, BS walks, and you guys can see how much they're going for. Hidden Fates, you get a single black label, whatever it is, it's going to sell 10 times as much. And just showing you the prices, just going through everything. The Shiny Charizard VMAX for Japanese, like I said, is roughly going around $4 grand. That's why I'm like, why send your modern cards? Here's a good question, and let this sink in. Why send your modern cards to PSA when the highest tier is PSA 10? When you can send it over to Beckett, and even if you don't get a black label, you can still sell it just as much as a PSA 10. At the same time, if you get one black label, it's like hitting the lottery almost. Let's scroll down to find like a good promo here. Okay, here's a good example. This is a black label Charizard V promo, which goes for like 20 bucks. Comes out of the Champions Path Elite Trainer box. You get a PSA 10 in this. Does it sell for around like maybe $150 to $200? But as you can see right there, a black label, sells for like $1,200. So and you can get it back almost the same time, probably even quicker through Beckett versus PSA. You know, so go where the money is. You know, go where the demand is. So it seems like the new trend nowadays is subgrades and the black label. So Beckett did it very smart. Uh, like I said, they control their population for black label, but they keep it extremely rare and extremely hard to get. This is why the prices are so high on it, but also it looks cool. My other thing is uh, sending cards to be graded is an art as well. I like how the flow of, I'll just find okay, so for me, Black Label, for example, flows so good with the Shine Charizard VMAX. If the color of the cards have more of a positive uplifting to it, uh, I'll send mostly to CGC because I don't want the colors of the card and the label to contradict each other. Maybe it's just me, but I want the cards to flow right. You know, I don't want the card and the label to contradict with each other, and that's an art of itself in a sense. And the black label just goes so smooth with like almost any colors, to be honest. But it just looks so. Let's see how much they're going for. Like $4 grand. But as you can see, um, just the black label just goes so smooth, especially with the shine Charizard V2. It just goes so smooth with the. It just looks like a sick card, just with the black label. Anyways, that's just my take of how I grade my cards, and appreciate like, sub, and see you guys next time. And good luck on your grades, good luck on your hauls, and see you guys next time.